know how much longer I can technically milk this series for, because we are approaching February and, you know, the early stages of the year are coming to an end. But I thought I'd squeeze in one for the end of January, just to highlight a few more releases. And I guess, depending on how slow things continue to be, I could do another episode of this. But for now, we will call this one Part 3. Hopefully you did watch the first 2 episodes of this little mini series here, and if you did, that will mean by the end of this episode, this video, you will have 15 new releases from me that you might not have heard otherwise, and that's pretty cool. Even if you don't end up liking them, why not give them a try anyway? What you got to lose? And it kind of negates the naysayers a little bit, because obviously the people that are saying there's no good music out at the moment, well, I beg to differ. Let's not waste any more time here. We will start with Årabrot. I'm not entirely sure how you say their name, but they've dropped a new EP here with some really heavy rock tracks, some rockin' tunes here. I remember discovering these guys in 2016, I think it was, through The Quietus. The Quietus tend to really highlight some really obscure releases. And this was definitely one from that year. I think the album was called The Gospel. Really good stuff. I think that we're getting something different from these guys later in the year, maybe an album or something like that. I'm not entirely sure for now, but for now, we have a really cool EP here. It's got some really spiritual and tribal songs. It really feels like they're reaching into their soul with these tracks. Reminds me a little bit of Zeal and Ardor, so if you are a Zeal and Ardor fan, you probably would get a little bit out of this. It's not exactly the same, but I guess if I'm drawing a mini comparison, I could maybe draw a little skewed line to them. So either way, it's a good EP. Next one I mentioned, Cameo Blush, another EP actually. Some really great little house tunes here. Wow, I'm really impressed with this. 3 tracks. The opening track is an absolute banging banger. They are produced incredibly well. This guy is not that well known at all, but similarly with previous artists I've talked about on this channel who don't seem to have a particularly big audience, artists I guess like Give Me Monaco, Moojooce, among many others in the electronic field, Vale Smith. They don't have huge audiences, but they are really good at crafting tracks that are incredibly catchy, incredibly immediate and straight to the point, and just sound great. A bit of 2-step garage influence on the first 2 tracks, and the final track has this really squelchy, weird little wellies standing in some mud sort of sound effect going on in the beat. It sounds great. And yeah, honestly, just another highlight here in the electronic field, and just a reminder that there's so much in this style that people need to lay their ears onto. Radio Supernova next. Want to mention these guys because they are putting out some really stellar dream pop shoegaze stuff. I love the vocalist in this band here. They have a really like, I guess, muffled voice, but she also breaks through in the mist, in the clouds of everything going on. It's not the most original thing you've ever heard in the world, but honestly, I really enjoy what I'm hearing regardless. It's just got a really lovely tone to it. The overall sound crafts a great effect. And I think Radio Supernova deserve a lot more attention than they're getting. Now I want to mention Kasper Marott, who is doing some more electronic house type stuff here. Seems to be the theme on this channel these days. I highlight a lot of stuff in this field, way more than I used to. I guess my next step is to really delve more into metal music, because I'm really bad at keeping up with that on this channel, but at least you got other people out there that are good at doing that. Kasper is darting around all over the place with this album here. There are some tracks that go into a bit more of like a drum and bass type stuff. Then you've got tracks that are like acidy, and then you got the somber ambient type tracks. He is all over the place. I'm not entirely sure if it fully works in the same way that like Machine Drum did it last year, but not to say that only Machine Drum can do it. I'm just saying that that is one example of where it really works. Whereas this album, I actually was more excited after the opening track for it to completely delve into that sound and take us further into that. The first track, the opening track, is such a like acidic, sweaty, drugged up club banger. Oh my god, this one really hits hard. It really makes me feel like I'm that guy from that meme that's all like It's so good, and I just think I wanted more of that for the album. It's more of like the expectations I think I had for this. Maybe if I sit with it a bit more, I could grow to appreciate the, you know, darting around and the genre blending that this guy goes for. But it's still good for what it is. Regardless, it's a good release and definitely worth your time. And for the fifth final mention in this video, we have another EP from Cherry Bullets. These guys, well, these girls, in fact, are a K-pop group. Oh, wow, was this one sugary as hell, like, Jesus Christ, it gets a bit much at times, really does, but I still think they're incredibly catchy and sweet and fun. They know how to have a lot of fun. It just really tests me at moments where the choruses are just so like straight to the head sugar rush. I had to test my blood sugar levels at some points because I was starting to worry I'd end up like my dad with type 2 diabetes. But still, it doesn't matter. It's still fun tracks, still fun music. I was definitely bopping along to these tracks, so that's as much as you can ask for, really. And there was one track actually that reminded me a lot of BTS, and it reminds me of how much I don't seem to like BTS. It's weird. I tend to stumble across a lot of K-pop groups out there and I like quite a bit of it, but BTS I can't seem to get with, and I'm not sure why, so that's interesting. But regardless, this is some good K-pop music here. Yeah, there's 5 more releases in this series that I've given you guys. Hopefully you get something out of any of these here. I guess the highest recommendation I would have if I had to pick one would be Cameo Blush. Cameo Blush, definitely want to see more from this guy. I followed him on social media too, so I'm going to try and keep up with seeing whether we get more stuff from him in the near future. So if we do, I'll be sure to try my best to talk about it on this channel, because really impressed with that. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what I've missed and other albums and releases that I need to talk about on this channel, because there's been a few that dropped today, this Friday the 29th. There's been some new releases, so definitely feel as though I need to catch up with some of them at some point. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and goodbye.